Hello, it's Andy Protheroe, the chair of IIRSM, the Wales branch. Still out in Baghdad, still doing a security audit for ISO, still looking at the standard that is ISO 18788, the management system for private security operations. So what I'm going to look at now, I'm just going to do a quick search for the rules for the use of force, a really interesting area within this standard. It is a security standard. What do we mean by the rules for the use of force? Well, what we don't mean is the rules of engagement. So anybody in the military, the UK military, basically we would have operated to the rules of engagement. So that means if you're operating for the military, you can undertake ambushes. If you're operating to the rules for the use of force as a private security company, well, realistically, that's not what you do, of course. So the rules for the use of force. It appears in this standard 20 times, as we can see. So when you're an auditor, you're auditing this standard, you're looking at the rules of the use of force. The organisation shall establish, document the use of force procedures for persons working on its behalf. Where available, such procedures shall be governed, this is important, the rules of use of force published by that sort of competent legal authorities. That's really important. So ultimately, what this is telling us is you shouldn't just make up your own rules for the use of force. Thus, if those rules for the use of force exist in that country, you must follow them. And if they don't, then you are going to base that rules for the use of force, as it states here, on published international guidance for the rules of the use of force. Example, the United Nations Basic Principles on the Use of Force and Firearms Law, Enforcement Officials 1990, and the Montreal documents are really important. So basically it says you shouldn't be making it up. If there is something within the country, then you should use that. So the rules for the use of force are really important. So many times have we said, you can see here, and if we just move sort of through the document, it will highlight all those times that this becomes really important. Now, what I'm going to focus on sort of this area here. So this is the main sort of area. In some circumstances, the organisation may be given IUF by a competent legal authority. Competent legal authorities include government exercising control over the area the organisation is operating in. That makes, again, sense, okay? But ultimately, what we've got to remind ourselves that if the organisation should conduct a comprehensive review, this is what we've got to do. We've got to review those rules for the use of force. Then ultimately, we've got to take into consideration what is being said here. Now, let's just think about that for your average UK-based security company. So when we do a security audit in the UK, what is security? So somebody somewhere is providing prevention or even protection or response to a malevolent incident. So if somebody starts an attack on someone, that may be your principal, because you might be operating as a security operative or a close protection officer, you are going to respond. You don't get paid as a security operative to not respond, so you are going to respond. So it's then therefore very important that the contracting company has agreed with the organisation what that response looks like. You are not going to have in that document, we will meet somebody on the door and we will choke them out. That's not going to happen, is it? So you've got to obviously respond responsibly. Responsibly, that's it. You've got to be responsible in your response. So ultimately, you've got to meet that level of, dare I say it, violence with a level of violence that is ultimately a protectionism. That's what you're doing. So you are protecting yourself, you are protecting your client, but ultimately, if somebody is going to break the law and they're going to raise that level of violence, then you have the right to prevent that level of violence being raised. Now, your average person in the UK shouldn't be doing that, but a security operative, that's what you would expect from them, because they're paid to do that. And therefore, that's why it is absolutely important that the organisation that you work for, that security organisation, has in place a robust rules for the use of force. And that is generally a force continuum whereby you respond, you escalate, and you de-escalate. If you do not need to turn to physicality, then you should not be doing that. You need to decrease that, and that's what is required. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and at all times stay productive.